Hello guys, if you are just getting into chess and you are wondering how the heck do I even begin to play chess, you are in the right place. Welcome. Today we're going to be going over just that. We're going to talk about how each of the pieces move, just the super basics, just to get you started. And by very basics, I mean very basics. We're going to start with the board. Forget all the pieces first. We don't need those. So here's the board. We have 8 files, 8 ranks in the lovely world in between. Alternating colors, obviously the white square is always on the bottom right for both players. If you flip the board, it's going to be the same way, right? White square on the bottom right, okay? Starting off with pawns. Your pawns are your frontline forces. They're going to be typically one of your first pieces to move. And they are special. They have special rules. Pawns are very special. So on their first move, only their first move, they can move 2 spaces forward. They only move forward. They cannot go backwards. Once you move them forwards, they cannot go back. So move them wisely. So their first move and their only first move, they can move 2 squares. After that, it's only 1 square at a time. They don't have to move 2 squares. They can just go 1 if they want, but they can go 2 on only their first move. Pawns are also unique because they cannot take the same way that they move. This allows it here in this, but this is not real life. So this pawn cannot take this pawn. They would be stuck here until something else happened. However, this pawn can take this pawn. They attack diagonally, and they only attack diagonally. Other than that, they just move forwards. If you are able to get a pawn to the opposite side of the board, it will have the option to promote into any piece of its choosing. It can become a queen, a rook, a knight, or a bishop. So the goal is ultimately for a pawn to promote to become a more powerful piece. These are your rooks. Rooks can move side to side in any length that allows them. As long as nothing is obstructing them, they can move full 8 squares anytime that they possibly can. They can move vertical and horizontal as much as they want, and they capture it the same way. So this rook can capture this rook, and if this rook were to move here, either rook could capture. Oh, I lost my rook without even when it was my move. So either of these rooks can take this rook with it being white's turn. Say there is a piece in front of it, like a pawn of its own color. Now it can no longer move past this pawn. It is stuck to these 2 squares for this way, or it can move any length of space this way, capturing the rook included. Knights, horses, nene boys, whatever you want to call them, they move in little L's. They can go up 1 over 2, or up 2 over 1. They alternate colors that they land on. So you start off with a light square knight and a dark square knight. Whenever they move, they're going to land on the color opposite that they are starting on. So this light knight can move to any of these dark squares. Up 1, over 2, up 2, over 1. And they can jump over pieces. So when you start, you have pawns here, of course, and you can move these knights this way. And they can capture whatever piece that occupies the square that they are landing on. So this white knight can capture this dark squared pawn. Dark squared, dark pawn. Sure. Now your bishops. Each side has a pair of bishops, 1 light square bishop, 1 dark square bishop. Unlike the knights, these guys stay on the color that they start on. So your light square bishop is going to stay on light squares. Dark square bishop is going to stay on dark squares. And they can move diagonally back and forth in any space that allows them, any space that they can move without running into a piece. Now for your queens. Remember, if you're setting up over the board and you're confused, where does my queen go? Remember, the queen goes on the same square that she is. The dress has to match the shoes, if you will. So your, whoopsies. So your white queen will go on a white square. Your black queen will go on a black square. And these powerful ladies can go any direction that they want to. They can take the action of any piece except for a knight. And they can go the entire length of the board however they please. They can go horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or one space, 8 spaces, whichever, you know? She's strong piece. Keep her safe throughout your game because you're going to need her. You definitely don't want to be in a game where you do not have a queen and your opponent does. And last but certainly not least, our kings, the object of the game. Keep your king safe, otherwise the game is over. The king can move one space at a time in any direction that he wants. Plain and pretty simple. Keep him safe, he can move one square. He only walks, he does not run. Now I will go over a special move called castling. So as long as your king has not moved at all and the rook of your choosing has not moved at all, your king can move over 2 spaces and your rook slides over to the other side. You can do this on the queen side also. The king will move over 2 spaces and the rook will sit on the other side of the king. And this is called castling. And you cannot do this to get out of check. You cannot do this through check. And you can only castle if neither rook or king has moved. That should be all you need to know to play a game. If I missed anything, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you like this video. Thanks, guys.